Hey everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today we are talking about how to bring your spouse to Canada and get them working while their permanent residence application is still under process. In this video, we'll explore the latest changes to the spousal sponsorship program and the fantastic policy that allows you to unite with your spouse sooner than ever before. Your spouse can even work in Canada while waiting for the permanent residence application to be processed. Let's get started on how these changes can help bring your spouse to Canada more quickly.
Part 1. Overview of spousal sponsorship in Canada.
First, let's talk about spousal sponsorship in Canada. There are two main types of spousal sponsorship. One, inside Canada application. If your spouse is already in Canada, maybe on a visitor visa or a study permit, we are looking at what we call the Inside Canada application. This is super handy because you can handle everything without them having to leave the country. These applications have been speeding up recently. We are talking about getting things wrapped up in just 3 to 4 months, sometimes, which is awesome. 2. Outside Canada application. Now, if your spouse is outside Canada, you'll go through the Outside Canada application. Things have gotten a lot quicker lately. You still need to be a bit patient as you wait for the decision, but it's faster than before, making the wait a little easier on both of you.
Part 2. Changes to spousal sponsorship.
Alright, let's talk about some super exciting updates to spousal sponsorship that rolled out last year. These changes are a big deal, especially if you are trying to bring your spouse over from outside Canada. The Canadian Immigration Minister really made the whole process way more efficient and a lot less stressful for anyone involved. First up, visitor visas for spouses. Getting a visitor visa used to be a major headache for spouses living outside of Canada. The worry was always that they wouldn't go back home once they visited. But now there has been a huge shift in policy. The new approach is more welcoming as visa officers now recognize that most spouses are likely to become permanent residents eventually. So they are now more inclined to issue those visitor visas, which is fantastic news. Then there's the game changer, open work permit. This is huge because now when your spouse comes to Canada on that visitor visa, they can apply for an open work permit. This new policy is like the government finally said, let's just do what makes sense. Now your spouse can come over, start working, and begin building a life here in Canada even before their permanent residence application gets processed. The sooner they can work, the sooner they can start contributing to the Canadian economy, which is good news for everyone involved. So yeah, these updates are a big win for couples looking to reunite in Canada, making it easier to live and work while the immigration paperwork catches up.
Part 3. Eligibility and fast-track process for visitor visas as a spousal sponsorship applicant.
Now let's break down how you can get a visitor visa if you are coming to Canada under spousal sponsorship. To be eligible for a visitor visa, here's what you need. 1. Sponsorship application submission. Make sure you have already got your spousal sponsorship application submitted. 2. Acknowledgement of receipt. You need to have received this acknowledgement of receipt from Immigration Canada. This confirms that they have received your application and it's in the queue. Now, on to the exciting part, the fast processing. If you have met the above conditions, your application for a visitor visa, also known as a temporary resident visa, will be processed much faster than the usual timeline. Here's the kicker. From our own experience, these applications can now get processed within 30 days, and the approval rates are impressively high, like 90% high. Just a little while back, before these awesome changes in the summer of 2023, it was tough getting these approved because there was a high concern about applicants not returning to their home country. But now the Canadian immigration has recognized that most spouses applying are likely to become permanent residents. They have practically eliminated the old hurdles, instructing visa officers to approve these visitor visas more liberally. This means that the fear of not returning home aren't holding back visas like they used to. Now, if you apply after receiving your acknowledgement of receipt, which shows your sponsorship is being processed, your chances are better than ever. And yes, you heard me right before. Processing can be as quick as 30 days. Plus, once you get your visitor visa and come to Canada, you can also apply for an open work permit. This is a huge benefit because it allows you to start working and settling into your new life in Canada while your permanent resident application is still being processed. No more waiting ages to get your life started together. Make sure you meet all the usual requirements for a visitor visa. But with these new streamlined processes, you are looking to a smoother, faster path to being with your loved one. Hey, I hope you are enjoying this video so far. If you are looking to immigrate to Canada without dealing with complicated and confusing immigration forms and rules, right below this video you'll find a link to book a call to speak with me or my team so we can tell you how we can make your immigration process less stressful. Now, back to the video.
Part 4. Open Work Permit Application as a Spousal Sponsorship Applicant.
Now let's talk about open work permit application as a spousal sponsorship applicant. Let's break down how you can make this happen faster and what the recent updates mean for you. To apply for an open work permit, here is what you need. 1. You must be in a genuine relationship with your sponsor. 2. Sponsorship application. You have already submitted a spousal sponsorship application. 3. Acknowledgement of receipt. You need that golden email from Immigration Canada confirming that they have got your application. This isn't just an email. It includes important stuff like your application number. 4. Living together. You and your spouse need to be living under the same roof in Canada on a valid temporary resident status. How to apply for an open work permit? Once you are sure you meet these criteria, here is how you can proceed. Whether you initially applied as an inland or outland applicant, the open work permit is now enriched thanks to some pretty awesome policy updates. Even if your spouse was outside of Canada and entered with a visitor visa or another temporary permit, they don't lose their shot at an open work permit. This change is huge because it used to be more restricted. This flexibility means your spouse can start working while their permanent residency gets sorted. And the best part? This applies even if they enter Canada recently under the new streamlined processes for visitor visas. Real talk, so should you go for it? Absolutely! Getting an open work permit is a game changer. It allows your spouse to integrate into the community much sooner. Being productive and self-sufficient can make a world of difference to someone settling into a new country. So grab those forms, double check you've met all the requirements, and take this important step into your new life in Canada. Let's make it happen! And there you have it, friends. We've journeyed through the ins and outs of spousal sponsorship, tackled the latest updates, and decoded the mysteries for visitor visas and open work permits. Thanks for hanging out with me today. If you found this video helpful, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring the bell for more updates. And don't forget, life is good and it's getting better. See you in Canada. Hey, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, take a moment right now to subscribe right below and turn on the notification button to get notified every time I post a video. Thanks for watching.